Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Any Given Day podcast. I'm Zach. That's Hunter. It's a short one today, so we're going to hop right into it. First thing we got coming up is there's been talk about a college football Super League. This could be coming soon. So you've read a little bit about this, Hunter. Go ahead and tell everybody what you've heard about.
So I've read an article over on The Athletic. That's about what I've got on it.
Right.
The main premise behind this group, they're known as College Sports Tomorrow. And basically they're a private equity fund or private equity group, I guess is the proper terminology. Basically a bunch of people like you have the Philadelphia 76ers owner, what's his name? Trying to find it. David Blitzer. You have the NFL's number 2 executive, the guy right under Roger Goodell, Brian Rolapp, and then you have the lead organizer of Turnkey ZRG. They're the search firm that has basically put a bunch of the current college commissioners, conference commissioners, in their jobs, right? You have their lead organizer, Lynn Perna, who I think is like the front man of the group. And so basically they're basically trying to start basically a super league, like you said. What it would do is it would take all of the 4 main conferences right now, so about 70 schools. It would make them permanent residents of like the top league, right? The top division. It would break them into 7, 8 divisions, something like that. And one of the divisions would actually be made up of like smaller conference teams that have like a relegation and promotion aspect. And there would be like another tier under them. So like that division would constantly be changing every so often, probably every year, depending on how things worked. And I know some people are for the relegation, promotion portion for college football. I just can't get behind it. I can't get behind it. I don't know what it is. Just never has sat well with me. So there's one thing, and then they're trying to basically say they want to get this thing started up. I don't think they realistically think they can get it started up until like the 2030s. So that's about 6, 7, 8 years away, potentially. Which doesn't seem like that close, but time flies, man, when you're not paying attention. It really does. And there's some other stuff in here. Like they're wanting to go. It's a show, man. It's crazy. Okay, so current outline would have the top 70 programs, all members of the 5 former major conferences, plus Notre Dame, and the new ACC member SMU as permanent members, and encompass all 130 plus FBS universities. Okay, so this is what they're saying on this, right? Perpetual members would be in a 7-10 team division, joined by an 8th division of teams that would be promoted from the 2nd tier. The 50 plus 2nd division teams, the 2nd tier, would have the opportunity to compete, like I was saying, promotion and relegation, basically, right? 70 permanent teams, the 70 permanent teams would never be in danger of moving down. Well, the 2nd division would have the incentive of promotion and relegation, like I said. Playoffs would not require a selection committee, as it would be the 8 division winners and 8 wild cards from the top tier would go to the postseason. The wild card spots would be determined by record and tiebreakers, much like the NFL. So they're trying to do like a mixture of European leagues and NFL, which is nice, I guess. I just look, we're moving to a 12-team playoff format, and I want to see how that works first before they're already talking about a 14-team playoff right now, right? I want to see how the 12-team playoff format works before we even get into that, let alone this Super League. You know, call me old school, call me all this stuff. I can't get behind it, you know? You got any thoughts on this first part about it?
First of all, you are old school. Let's just get that out of the way. You are very old. But it's okay. We still love you here.
27, man.
You're still old. It's okay. We still love you. I just feel like this whole thing has just broken my brain. It's taking everything that was good about college football, everything that I've loved about college football, everything I've loved growing up, the excitement that college football brings, and just throwing it out the window.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, it's going to be the same playoff format and everything else as the NFL. And it's just going to be a baby NFL where teams are getting turned over every 4 years. If that.
Basically.
So, I mean, I hate it. I'm with you on the playoff format. I've always thought that 6 was the right number. We're going to be doing 12. I'd like to at least see how 12 goes before we start jumping to 14, 16 teams in this playoffs. I feel like with 12, the regular season already doesn't matter a whole lot. If you go to 16 teams, the regular season really doesn't matter a whole lot. I mean, you can lose four games, 5 games, and possibly still get in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, at that point, what's the point? This whole Super League money grab bullcrap, I can't stand it. But
exactly,
it's coming, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. Moving on a little bit further into this, they're failing to gain. I say failing, struggling is the word they used in the Athletic. And by the way, Athletic, you kind of screwed up. Just say they're paying you. That's my opinion. My opinion is they probably got paid a little bit to post this article. Wouldn't be shocked. There's a lot of underhanded dealings we've got because this seems to try to paint them in a good light, right? They didn't mention that this was a private equity group until about 2/3 of the way through the article. You got to mention that at the start because that's the thing. These commissioners, they do not want these private equity groups in college football. Because if those private equity groups come in and get this, that makes the commissioners obsolete. Right? And yet you have Florida State, who's already trying to go and get backed by a private equity group. I think it's based out of Saudi. So that's Saudi oil money. So they're trying, we'll see. It's just so like the ACC board of directors, they heard a presentation from the group back in February. They also had planned dinners with administrators from the Big 10, Big 12, and the SEC. All 3 of those were canceled, called off. And the spokespersons for the Big Ten and SEC have both said that, Commissioner Petiti and Commissioners Sankey, neither one have met with any officials from that group. And I wouldn't be shocked if they won't, because I think they're trying to form their own super conference before that happens. I wouldn't be shocked if the SEC and Big Ten go rogue before College Sports Tomorrow tries to come in and claim everything. And if they go, I say go rogue. If they go rogue, other schools are going to follow. That's how it's always been. Those two conferences start something, the other colleges and conferences join in. And apparently the big thing for why these leagues and conferences these conferences have canceled the meetings. They don't want to upset their broadcast partners. ESPN, ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, the ones who are paying them big money for their TV rights. Because if they do that and they join and become one Super League, then those deals are done and they have to restructure one, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
Any more thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing's going to be a mess, regardless of how it happens, whether it's the Big Ten and SEC, going rogue, as you said, to go create their own super conference, in which everybody else will probably follow. The majority will follow. It's going to be a mess, and it's going to be chaos. Which I guess a little chaos isn't bad, but a lot of chaos could be catastrophic.
We love chaos during the season. We don't want it during the off season, unless it's like a coaching carousel type deal. Like the Nick Saban chaos was amazing.
Yeah, this is just it's ridiculous. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to be excited about a college football season, knowing that we're probably only going to have about 4 or 5 more seasons before it just goes to hell in a handbasket, if that. So, I mean, the sport that I love and we love is being destroyed before our eyes, and I never thought this day would come, but it's coming, and it's coming quick. So, I'm trying to hold out hope, but I feel like all hope is lost at this point. We need a new hope.
Who's the new hope?
I don't know, but we need one.
Saban as college football commissioner?
I'm all right with that.
Oh,
I would absolutely be okay with that.
Fair enough. The whole thing is the CST's claiming they're worried about the conferences going bankrupt because of all these lawsuits that have been filed. Like you do have one lawsuit already filed against like the NCAA as a whole, where these plaintiffs are trying to go ahead and they're trying to get money for their name and image and likeness prior to the 2021 ruling. And these are like people who were from like college athletes from like a bunch of different years before that ruling. So we could I'm trying to find the words for it. I can't with that,
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid. It sucks. Move on. You got a free education for a reason. Okay?
Right.
It was still supposed to be about amateur sports at that point. So I just like having to read all this stuff, it slowly but surely bit by bit, piece by piece, it's starting to kind of kill my love for the sport, which sucks.
Yeah.
I still love it. I'm still going to G Day next week. That's not going to stop me from loving, my team and loving the sport as a whole. But it's like you have all these people who want to make money off of it. Just Congress, get your crap together and place some rules down. Lay the law down.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, something's got to happen, but this ain't it.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
Yep. Anything else on this topic?
Not really that I want to talk about. I'm just kind of
All
done
right.
with it.
Then we'll move on to some good chaos. Good, fun football chaos. Matt Zollers, number 8 quarterback in the nation, number 78 player nationally in the class of 2025, has committed to Missouri. Hunter, what are some possible domino effects that could come from this commitment?
So let's be honest, Bonner. You were asking me what domino effects could come from this? That doesn't make sense. How could him committing to Missouri? How could his commitment anywhere cause domino effects? I'll tell you why. Juju Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, from my understanding, the Final Four was listed as Penn State, Pitt, Georgia, and Mizzou. Realistically, it came down to Georgia and Mizzou, which that's a huge miss on James Franklin's part. Neither here nor there. If he had committed to Georgia, it does have a domino effect. If he had committed to Georgia, it still has a domino effect right now. If he commits to Georgia, Georgia right now still has a chance of flipping Juju Lewis from USC. If Juju Lewis flips from USC, the most likely landing spot is Georgia. If Zollers commits, that gets wiped off the board. That gets completely and utterly wiped off the board. I'm not going to go there with another quarterback from this class who they view as an equal to me. Right?
Right.
But now since he's gone, and let's just say it, from what I've heard from the legend that is Brooks Austin, this is like a week or two old by this point. If he committed to Georgia, the most likely landing spots would have been Alabama, then Auburn for Juju, right? Apparently, Juju is of the mindset that if he were to go to Alabama, he would start day one. That's how little he views their quarterback room.
Right.
And that's how some people view the quarterback room. Because then again, some people don't know about some of the changes in the quarterback room, because our favorite resident Auburn fan didn't even realize that Julian Sayin had transferred out of Alabama to Ohio State. So some people apparently don't pay attention to it like we do. We're kind of religious with it, how it is. But the prevailing thought from that is Juju would start day one over at Alabama. I will say this. If he were to go to Auburn, that would be an interesting fit. To see someone of his mental IQ, football IQ, in the Hugh Freeze system, I think that would be insane. Yeah. I'm not even gonna lie. I think that would be an insane fit. Maybe in a good way, maybe in a bad way. I don't know how it would work out. That dude is, I've heard it multiple times, elite processor. Okay?
Yeah.
Right now, I would say Georgia is now still the favorite because Zollers did that. That's not to mention the potential commitment of Ryan Montgomery, right? The other quarterback in this class. Those are the three big names: Fleurs, Lewis, Montgomery. So it did have a bit of a domino effect, right? More of a domino effect than you thought, right? More of a domino effect than most people thought. So, a bit of a domino effect is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Didn't know that, did you?
I mean, I figured it had to do something with Juju. It makes sense when you say it out loud. My brain just didn't process it until you said it out loud.
Ah.
I also didn't realize he committed today until I saw the notes for the episode. I went, oh, he committed. Then I had to look it up to see where he committed to.
Jesus.
I mean, I figured if he committed to Georgia, you would have texted me and said he committed to Georgia. So I figured he didn't commit to Georgia. I just didn't know who else it would have been. I figured it would have been Penn State, if anybody. But it's a good pickup from Missouri.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, this is the kicker, right? Missouri has done more to scare Georgia than Florida, Auburn, or Tennessee has done over the last 3 years.
Oh, without a doubt.
On the recruiting trail or
without
otherwise.
A doubt. I 100% agree.
I mean, when's the last time that Florida, Auburn's done it pretty recently, but Florida or Tennessee has stolen a guy that Georgia really, really, really wanted on the recruiting trail?
Ooh.
I mean, it's been if you got to think about it. I mean, it's been a while.
At least 3 years, probably.
Yeah.
And you'll have some people go and say, well, what about that linebacker they got in last year's recruiting class? Okay. They got 3 of the other top 10 linebackers in that class, though. We missed out on 1. We still got... I say we. We really need... This stays in, but we need to stop saying we when talking about Georgia if we're trying to be unbiased.
I'm biasedly unbiased.
Fair play. But yeah, no. They even though you got that linebacker, I think Georgia still wound up with the number 1 overall linebacker in that class. So, along with 2 of the other top 10s.
I believe they had the top 2. I believe they had the top 2 linebackers.
It depends on what ranking system you're looking at.
That's true. It's all messed up. But yeah, I mean, Missouri's definitely going to be scary. Missouri's been really good. If they can continue to recruit, they'll be fighting. Which leads me into my first you or no you question. Missouri will finish top 5 in the SEC this year, overall. They will finish in the top 5 in the SEC this year.
Oh, boy. Yeet. Barely, though. Barely.
Who you got as your top 5?
Georgia and Alabama are going to... Well, Georgia and Texas are going to duke it out for 1 and 2. That'll determine that. Then Alabama. Then I'd say Oklahoma. And then they... who else is there? You got Ole Miss.
Got Ole Miss, Missouri.
Oh. Now I'm having to think. Screw it, yeet. Yeah, yeet. They got Brady Cook coming back. They got Luther Burden coming back. So, yeah, why not?
I love how that just perfectly segued into that first question. That was beautiful. I had to make sure it was a question I was going to do anyways, and then I saw you committed to Missouri, so I was like, this is the perfect opportunity after we've just talked up Missouri. Put you on the spot. All right. Number 2, Michigan will not make the Big Ten championship this year. They will not make the Big Ten championship game this year.
Yeet.
I agree.
I don't.
They
just promoted a
I personally,
fall guy.
Yeah, I personally think it'll be Oregon and Ohio State.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, number 3, the final Yeet or No Yeet question for today's episode. The Heisman winner this year will not be a quarterback.
No yeet. No yeet. I don't see it. It's got to be a quarterback at this point. I think the 2 favorites right now would have to be Beck and Ewers to win it. Because Lord knows if Beck improves off the season he just had in his first year in that offense, there's no way he's not the Heisman winner and probably the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And miss me with the Shedeur Sanders stuff. I'm sorry. Some people view him as a first-round pick. That's fine. I guess I can see it. But miss me with it, man.
I mean, personally, I think a couple to watch out for that aren't quarterbacks would be Ollie Gordon, Trevion Henderson. I think both could be really good this year. Maybe have a shot, at least be finalists. I don't know if they'll win it. But I think they could have a shot to be finalists depending on how the year goes. With Ohio State having a new quarterback this year.
I think and
they're not going to have Marvin Harrison.
If I'm being honest, I think the most likely non-QBs to win it would either be Travis Hunter, if he absolutely balls out over at Colorado, or Caleb Downs over at Ohio State. And I think Caleb Downs actually has a better chance of winning it than Travis Hunter does. Because they promised him, from my understanding, rumors I've heard around the Twitter space and people, they promised him some snaps on offense and returning duties. So watch out. Just watch out. I'd say if you have a non-QB pick to win it, it would be Caleb Downs. So, but I'm still going to stick with Carson Beck to be the front runner.
Yeah, I can see that. All right.
Okay.
Time for everybody's favorite segment of the week.
Yes. I'll be honest. I just came up with this one off cuff. So this week's blind draft is going to be fast food burgers.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so number 1. Fast food burger restaurants, I should say. And how you have them ranked. Number 1, Burger King.
5.
5. Wow.
Yeah.
There was no hesitation there. Don't like the Whopper, do you?
I hate Burger King.
Okay.
Hold on. There we go.
Next one up.
Yep.
Sonic. 2. Okay.
I love me a double bacon cheeseburger.
They are amazing.
Or bacon double cheeseburger.
Did you ever have their peanut butter bacon burger when it was out?
No. That sounds delicious though.
It was actually pretty good. The peanut butter was a lot more subtle, more sauce-like. Not a thick peanut butter. Next one up, McDonald's.
I do like a Big Mac.
Oh, 3. Okay. Next up, Wendy's.
1.
Oh, you love the Baconator, don't you?
No, I've never been a big Baconator guy, but I do love their burgers. It's something about the square patty. It's something about that fresh square patty. I love it. Specifically, their loaded nacho burger that they came out with recently. That's like top 10 favorite burger all time. I love it.
Fair enough. I disagree with your rankings though. Solely because of the last one you're gonna put that you're gonna be forced to put it for is Cookout.
I don't love Cookout. I like it better than Burger King. And it's really a toss up between the two, between McDonald's and Cookout. But
see, here's what I'll say. As it pertains to Cookout, I like the versatility that you can get, the styles of burgers you can get.
Yeah, I agree.
I had a hard time deciding on the last one. It was going to be either Cookout or Checkers.
Well, Checkers would have been lower than... Checkers would have been right at 4 for me. It would have fit
Don't like the
perfectly.
Baconzilla?
Don't. No. Listen. Okay. Sonic is the only burger restaurant, fast food place I've been to that they cook the bacon how I like it. I can't do chewy bacon. My grandmother growing up, she always cooked crispy bacon. So I grew up eating crispy bacon. I can't do chewy bacon. And, Burger King, Checkers, even the Baconator at Wendy's, it's always chewy bacon, and I'm just not a big chewy bacon guy, personally. So, Sonic's about the only place I can get, a bacon double cheeseburger, and it'd be crispy bacon is just like I like it.
Okay,
good.
Fair play, fair play. Personally, I just like Checkers for the fries. I'll get their Baconzilla burger when I'm there, obviously. Double meat, not triple meat, because you can't get a single meat for some reason. Yeah. Trying to watch my figure, but...
You are in a figure. You're kind of in a shape.
I'm in a shape, not in shape.
Yeah, in a shape, yeah. Might be circle, but you're in a shape. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Cookout, I always, if I do go to Cookout, it's cheap, which is nice. It's hard to find a cheap fast food restaurant nowadays. But I always get I get bacon because they cook bacon actually pretty good. I get bacon with Cajun seasoning on the burger, cheese, mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato. Really good. But Big Mac. Something about a Big Mac. That Big Mac pushes it over there. I love a Big
don't like
Mac.
the Big Mac. Like I used to when I was younger.
It's because you're an uncultured swine.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree on that.
Okay.
You got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Give me a second.
I got two.
I do. Hold on. Go ahead and give your thoughts. I'm looking something up.
One, with their loss tonight in the NIT final, I do hope this is not the last time that we see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Robbie Avila. I hope we see him in the NBA. I hope he gets a chance. And I hope he lights it up. Right? And then an actual thought I have is if a pregnant woman dives underwater, is she technically a submarine? I have questions.
Okay. Here's my final thought. I found it. Give me a second.
Oh no.
I'm going to read this monologue and I want you to tell me what it's from. You know, guys have underestimated me my entire life, and for years I never understood why. It used to really bother me, but then one day I was driving my little boy to school, and I saw this quote by Walt Whitman, and it was painted on the wall there. It said, "Be curious, not judgmental." And I like that. So I get back in my car and I'm driving to work, and all of a sudden it hits me. All them fellas that used to belittle me, not a single one of them were curious. You know, they thought they had everything all figured out, so they judged everything and they judged everyone. And I realized that they were underestimating me. Who I was had nothing to do with it, because if they were curious, they would ask questions.
No clue.
No clue, you uncultured swine. It's from Ted Lasso. It's the dartboard scene in Ted Lasso.
Never seen Ted Lasso.
One of the greatest is pure cinema. Pure
and I've
cinema.
heard it's amazing, except for the final season.
The final season wasn't bad. The ending was
exactly.
The final episode wasn't great, but the entirety of the show was fantastic. You should watch it. Anybody that hasn't watched Ted Lasso, watch it. If you have watched Ted Lasso, tell Hunter how much of an idiot he is for having not watched Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Tell me that in the comments. Helps with the algorithm.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got time for today, guys. So thanks for watching. Oh, what do you mean you got to eat or no eat? Whoa.
Just came up with it. Okay. As we record, it is April 4th. 2 nights from now.
The year of our Lord 2024?
The year of our Lord 2024 on April 4th of said year. We are 2 days away from night 1 of WrestleMania. 3 days from night 2.
Yep.
Yeet or no yeet? Cena and Stone Cold Austin.
Yep.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, I should say, will both appear on the same night of WrestleMania.
Well, they say Triple H doesn't do things on accident. He does everything on purpose. Everything has a reason. And while The Rock was beating Cody Rhodes, there happened to be a truck in the background. And that truck happened to have John Cena on it.
And it also had Stone Cold.
It did have Stone Cold on it too, yeah. So what I'm going to say is, that glass is going to shatter and those trumpets are going to sound off because John Cena and Stone Cold are going to show up on night 2 of WrestleMania to take out The Rock.
Okay.
Yeet.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Especially
I will
since
lose my mind.
that truck that they showed, like you said, Triple H does everything for a reason. And people, we know we're a college football podcast and we're talking wrestling, but we're also wrestling fans.
Yeah,
is what it is. But that truck they showed was actually not one of their actual touring trucks. So a bit of an odd placement for a truck that is out of circulation, technically, to be there that night.
right.
Plus, if you checked Stone Cold's Instagram or TikTok or whichever one it was, I think it was his TikTok, you would see that he came out Easter Sunday to someone having left him an Easter basket full of ice and ice cold beer. Maybe everyone's little favorite American Easter bunny stopped by.
He had Cody Rhodes on the on his podcast pretty recently too. I will lose my mind
if he comes down and stuns The Rock.
Dude, can you imagine that crowd? If The Rock tries to get in the ring to interfere or something on night 2 and then a glass just shatters, oh my god. That place will erupt.
Solo tries to interfere. Those
Holy
trumpets
crap.
sound. You thought you got rid of me. No. It would be amazing.
That's going to be... I will lose my mind.
Amazing.
There will be tweets sent. There will be tweets sent if this all comes to pass. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm just going to post the John Cena theme song. That's it.
A glass shattering. Just...
And glass shattering. That's it. All right. Any other eat or no eats before I try and close us down? Okay.
We good.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a wonderful episode. Please like, comment, subscribe so you can stay tuned for all of our latest content. Hunter, you got anything else you want to say?
No. Still wondering about the submarine comment, but other than that. Question.
Yeah, it'd be okay. All right. Well. All right. See y'all later.